So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install these plywood floors. I'm going to take you all the way from demo of the existing flooring and carpet all the way up through installing in urethane, so stay tuned. If you ever got a boot stuck down in your engine, you can pull it out with a coat hanger. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get all this carpet out of here. Alright, next thing I got to do is get all these tack strip up. So the hallway got this beautiful linoleum tile, so that's got to come up too.
Huge shout out to Eli for getting all the linoleum tile and tack strip up.
I've got to fix these. Floors are kind of coming up right here where this seam is, so I got to sand that down flat before we can start laying wood on it. And also there's this piece of ply OSB and this piece, two pieces of them are bowed down a little bit, so I'm gonna get these two pieces of plywood up and see what I can do to straighten them out and get them flat again. So this OSB is tongue and groove, so I've got to cut off the tongue part of each board so that I can lift this off of here. So I'm going to use my circle saw and plunge cut and cut all the way around this piece of board, and then I'll try to pry it up. Okay, so here we are. The issue with the floor is these two beams, these two 2x6s, are bowed down a little bit right there. Not sure why, but we are missing some insulation in these two boards. It appears that you can see that side of the house is MDF board and this side is OSB. And so it looked like they replaced this floor at some point. So what I'm going to do is go get a couple of 2x6s and replace those two 2x6s, and then probably put the same OSB right back down in place. Get a roll of insulation and put some insulation in these three slots, and should be good as new. And then it would be good to put the floors down in here. So I forgot to video the whole process today, but basically what I did is got a 2x6 and nailed it to the old one. And I leveled it out a little bit. I had to make some shims right here. I don't know if you can see. Those are shims to shim it up. It's still a little bit crooked. And then I got this old billboard tarp and put that down in between the studs. Next thing we're gonna do is put the insulation in and put the floor back on top. Prep these floors is right here at the seam. They come up just a little bit. I think that it's got some moisture in it, this MDF. So I'm just going to sand it flat right here with the belt sander and get this area all flattened out. Alright, I've got this gap all cleaned out and sanded down smooth. And I think the reason it was raised up is because it had a little bit of moisture in it. So I'm just going to hit it with some of this spray paint, and hopefully that'll seal it up. Okay, I'm filling this crack with Great Stuff foam.
It looks like whipped cream, kind of. Doesn't it kind of look like whipped cream?
So this is the table saw we use to cut all the boards up. I took my little 10-inch Craftsman saw and I got it off Craigslist for like 10 bucks and mounted it inside. This is a pallet, big 6 foot or 8 foot long pallet, and some 2x4s. I put and made it a table, and then I set this piece of unistrut and screwed it into the table at the width that I needed. We used 4 inches between the fence and the outside of the blade so that I would get enough boards out of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And then I put a flat sheet on top of the whole thing, and I cranked the saw blade up through the plywood, and that gave us a good 4 foot long edge to put the plywoods on against. And then obviously we used it for staining the boards after that, but it worked pretty good for cutting those 4x8 sheets down, and we got a pretty consistent cut with it. All the boards seem to be just right at the same width.
Listen, if you don't got friends that'll come over and help you cut boards all day in the sun, then you should get some. So special thanks to Justin and Joey for getting all them boards cut and sanded with me. This is Jess and Justin doing the sanding with the palm sanders, and I was starting staining. We had lots of help staining. Grandma helped stain, the kids helped stain, my beautiful wife Jess helped stain, and we got it done. It took us about 3 days to get everything cut and stained and stacked up inside.
So we got all the boards cut and stained. I moved them in the house, trying to kind of acclimate to the temperature. Apparently you're supposed to do that. Sat in here overnight. So here's the stains that we used. That is dark walnut Minwax that I had left over for some other projects. So our floor will match some other projects I got going on. That is this one, honey. So I got a stack of honey down here. This one's like a gray aged barrel gun stock. That one is English chestnut, pine, switch. That's the honey. That's some more of the gun stock. Another stack of gray, and dark walnut in the varathane. So we got 2 dark walnuts, 1 Minwax, and 1 varathane. And you can see when you put them next to each other, this is the Minwax version and this is the varathane version. The Minwax one's a little bit darker. So we've got 7 different colors, really. And I'm gonna go prep the floor, get it all flat and smooth, make sure we don't got any staples and nails, vacuum, and then we'll start laying wood floors down. So this is what I got done last night. I started with this board here because I wanted to span this crack that I got going all the way down the center. So eventually when we do the whole house, this is gonna be my center line, keep all the boards straight. So I started there and kind of worked over, got into this back schoolroom and got all that flooring done. So today I'm going to continue on from where I left off, hopefully get to that wall, and hopefully do the majority of this side. And then we'll work back this way through the hallway and into all the bedrooms. It's going pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it's going down. We'll do some time lapse and show you how it goes. Okay, it's Wednesday night, end of the 3rd day of doing floors. I get out of work and come over here and work for 5 or 6 hours. So the entire hallway's done. Got wood going into Liza's room. That'll be the plan for tomorrow. Start that. All the thresholds are done underneath each door. Oh, I'm missing a piece right there. I'll have to do that tomorrow. And the schoolroom's done. Wall to wall. Complete. So making pretty good progress. It's slow going, but it's getting done. And I think it's turning out pretty good so far. Let me know in the comments how you think it looks. I don't know what I'm doing. I did the same thing as you. I went on YouTube and I looked at all the videos, and I'm just kind of learning as I go, so I'll just share those tricks with you. This room's pretty much a square after I got off that 45-degree angle there, so I measured it and it's 124 inches wide. What I'm gonna do is go out and cut a bunch of sets that are 124 inches. So if I cut one that's 80, then I'll cut the next one at 44, and that'll give me 124 inches. And I'll do that over and over again until I'm all the way through. That'll keep me going from going in and out, cutting and coming back. I'll just have everything cut 124 inches, and then I'll be able to install those sets, and it should go a lot quicker. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all those pieces, sets to 124 inches, and then I took these pieces out and cut out the room for the vent. I got them all set up so there's really no colors that are touching and everything's spread out good. And now I'm gonna start laying them down. I found it easiest if I get myself a little bit of room. I'm gonna start by putting liquid nails on one. So I got construction adhesive on here, and I was hitting it with one of those like mortar scrapers that had the teeth. This is kind of even everything out, but I don't think I really need it. This is working, and the extra step was just taking too long. So I just put them down, making sure they're under the baseboard there. And stand on it, hold it down, get the glue pressed. I'm putting 3 nails in each side, and I stand on it and push it in towards the board. And then I step on it and see if there's any spots that are up. So sometimes these boards don't completely seat close to the floor, and there's 2 reasons for that. One is the board might be warped up, and the other one is this is a modular home, so the floor isn't completely level. I had to level out a few spots, but it's still a little bit uneven, so I just take and hold this down, just take and hold that down, or stand on it, hold it down, and put 2 nails in each side. And then I'll hold it down from moving. I'll just step on it all the way down the board. If I find another spot that's lifting up, down here at the end, I do the same thing until it's all flat. Another thing that you might notice that I'm doing while I'm nailing is that I am holding my nail gun not flat but at a little bit of an angle. There's 2 reasons for that. One is that this is a brad nailer and a stapler, and when I nail it straight in, I don't know if you can see it, but it makes a little line instead of just the nail going in. So this one I nailed straight, and all the other nails I nailed at a little bit of an angle. And that's because the brad nailer is also a stapler. So the driver that drives the nail in is actually a little flat piece of steel and not a single peg. So if you put the nail in straight, you get the whole indent from the stapler. But if you put it in at a little bit of an angle towards the side of your nail gun that feeds the nails in. On mine is this left side, yours is probably the same. Instead of nailing straight in, you just angle it a little bit of an angle. You won't get that slot punched into your plywood. And the other reason that I put nails at an angle is that these are just brad nails and they don't have heads on them. So when you put a nail in straight down, it's able to pull through. But if you put it at an angle, that nail's not going to be able to move up and down with the board. So I drive it at a little bit of an angle, maybe 10 or 15 degrees, and that'll hold it down a little bit better than putting a nail straight in. So there's some tips and tricks for installing your plywood floors with construction adhesive and a brad nailer. After you glue, push this little button right here. That'll release the pressure from the glue. When you set it down, it won't ooze all out over your project. And then get yourself a little table. I got a tote that I move around with me. That way my glue and my nails and everything, little tape measure and everything I need is close, and I'm not leaving it all over the house. And if any glue does drip out, it drips onto the tote lid and not onto my brand new floors. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. Okay, the floors are all installed. Every room's done. Every closet's done. Jess and I just went through and kind of pushed everywhere we could find a spot that was a little loose. We added a couple nails and made sure everything was secured down nicely. Any spots that were missing missing stain, we kind of touched up, and now it's time to put the Varathane on. Hey, I ain't no dummy. Found a hole that this paintbrush would slide right down into. So instead of bending over, now I just get to paint the floor standing up.
And I just followed the instructions on the can. 2 coats applied with a brush, 24 hours apart, and I was done. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next one.